This is Ian Bailey with Ian on Therapy. Today we're continuing our men's series, the quick and dirty tools for men to have a happier marriage, to get out of these vicious negativity cycles. Today we're speaking about, I have my notes here, today we're speaking about how today men are overly sensitive. We're sensitive, they are sensitive in the fact that they get hurt more easily by things that women say. If they're hurt, they get defensive. Defensiveness is, oh, I'm on the defensive, I'm going to attack you back. And they don't have as much of a backbone. And these qualities, I think, used to exist more in men. We'll speak about what happened at the end of the video, more advanced talk. But today, men are more like women in that they become overly sensitive to criticism. And also, I think men seek approval from their wife. They base their happiness on the marriage relationship solely. And definitely marital conflict hurts them. But we have a tradition that says woman looks to man and man looks to God. We'll speak a little bit more about this later. Whether you're religious or not, it's a key psychological phenomenon. If both partners in a relationship are defensive and sensitive, there's no person to sort of get them out of it. So I think the most healthy, normal state is for the man to develop a backbone, and men need to increase their self-esteem. Men's self-esteem is incredibly sensitive and shot today. So if men increase their self-esteem, think about how awesome you are, talk to somebody. If it's a therapist, your bros, talk about how awesome you are. Build up that self-esteem. In marriage, I see couples sometimes, if you build up the man's self-esteem, almost the whole family can follow suit. Build a backbone. Know that women will always bring up issues and want to fix them. We'll speak about women's nature in another video. Just expect it. Build up your backbone. Think about what she said. And you know there's at least some nugget of truth. If it's not majority true, it's either majority true or some true. Think about what it is. And don't get hurt. Build yourself up so you have a backbone and you're strong. Base your happiness on your accomplishments, your faith, your inspiration. And if you become that self-confident person who's not as defensive, you'll stop the cycle. Your wife will reflect you and look up to you, and you can not participate in both being defensive. You have a backbone. You can listen. You can be a strong leader and role model as a husband. And we'll look forward to elaborating on some of that later. Just as an advanced point, I think that men are so sensitive is the same reason why generally I think people are more sensitive in their psychology and their emotions. If you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we each have a certain hierarchy of needs. There's different levels. On the lowest level, if you get your basic food and water in order, you go to the next level in your interest in psychology, which is safety. If you have your safety in order, a place to live, safety, then you start to go to interactive relationships and group relationships, and all the way up to self-actualization. In other words, you can't just go and actualize yourself until you have all of your other components in order. So based on this, I think that for a long time in history, people had most people were starving, did a lot of work, so they were sort of living on the lower level of psychology. It wasn't just that they were so busy they didn't have time to think about marital problems. No, it's that their brains didn't have such elaborate, sensitive psychology activated at all. It wasn't even there. Like for example, if you have a whole country of people who are impoverished, you know, they're living simply. They're on the lower level rung. But the rich person who's the head of the country, why does the royal family have problems? Because they're up on the higher rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and they are challenged with those issues. So today, we have many of us, not everybody, but many of us have more plenty, industrial society, more food, excess of food. We're more sensitive, more mental health problems, and more sensitive men. So as men, we should build the backbone, stop being so defensive, and laugh it off like they used to in the olden days. And if it hurts, don't show it. Men get anxiety from women's criticism. Calm down your anxiety, work it out, settle the issue, and move on. That's Ian on Therapy, part 2 of the men's series.